You're probably wondering, why do I find myself attracting the same people? Why do I find myself attracting the same experience? What is going on that I'm going through the same issues all the time? Because you haven't sat with it yet. Here's the truth that I don't think a lot of people understand. Instead of you running away from it, you need to sit with it. Don't use your vices, alcohol, food, people, and other things just to not have to deal with it because it will keep coming back up. You're probably wondering, why do I find myself attracting the same people? Why do I find myself attracting the same experience? What is going on that I'm going through the same issues all the time? Because you haven't sat with it yet. You have not sat down and sat with it. There's a reason why I tell my clients, forget the word journal for a moment, and I want you to think about writing out your thoughts. Because when you think about writing out your thoughts, your perceptive changes. You think about it just almost like verbal diarrhea on the page. But the point of all doing that is you have to be honest for it to really work because you're now sitting with some of the stuff that you have been mowing past. It's like having a patch of grass and you're just constantly mowing around it. You're just like, yeah, I'll get to it one day. But for the meantime, I'm gonna go over here because this is nice. I'm gonna go over here because this is nice. I'm gonna go back here because this is nice. But you're leaving that patch of grass repeatedly because you just don't want to deal with it. And it's gonna take sometimes you sitting on a virtual call with your therapist and working out those issues. And then after that, you're gonna be like, well, how do I move forward? It could be working with a therapist, working with a mentor, working with a coach like myself. These steps are not there to make you feel weak. They're there to make you feel strong, feel strength. I remember when I thought that at one point being a person who would go to therapy was a sign of weakness. Because in the back of my brain, I was always told, look to God, which is a great pillar to use, but I was still suffering inside for at least over a decade and a half. Not sure, maybe even longer. I wasn't sure what steps I should take. I wasn't sure how to move forward. I didn't know. You're probably thinking you're a coach, like you probably had an idea. It's far different. And I'm sure coaches and therapists could kind of say this. We are we know how to help others, but sometimes it's hard for us to help ourselves. Sounds familiar, right? And sometimes it's a little bit tricky for us to look at ourselves and be like, oh, okay, I identify that as this, and this, and what areas I need to start pouring into myself more. Sometimes it's difficult. But when you're going through a moment of repetitive situations and repetitive actions, you're going to get repetitive results. You're going to get the same result over and over and over again until you sit with it. And it's not an easy task. I will say it's never an easy task to sit down with the stuff that you have been running away from for years and years and years. But it is far more better for yourself and beneficial for yourself to sit down with those difficult moments versus just constantly finding something else to mask it from coming up and protect it from coming up and just keep it down. We all do it. Whether it's, again, we can use it with food, alcohol, other substances as well. We can use it with people. Money is another one. One of the things I learned too is how some of us could emotionally spend, and that it could come up with the stuff you're just not sitting with. What draws you to those moments where you're like, I need this? And why are we not evaluating, do I really need this? Or is this more of a want? Nowadays, when I go shopping, I always ask myself, okay, is this a need or a want? And I'll answer myself honestly, okay, this is a want. But do I really need this want right now? Or is this trying to fill something else I got to deal with and I should be dealing with? And it takes a moment, but it saves me far more than you could think, because sometimes I'm just like, I don't really need that. So what's going on that's making me feel like I need a burst of shopping? What they call it, retail therapy, right? That's all capitalism. That's just for you to spend more money. That's literally what it is. It's just for you to spend more money. Because beyond that, if you need that retail therapy, the question is, therapy is what I'm hearing. Why would you be needing that sense of therapy? I'm not knocking anyone who does that, but I'm just trying to open up your mind a little bit, open up your brain a bit. Why would we need to go to a store and shop or spend money or order online? We live in that day and age now, just to feel better. Or why would we need to be around certain people that we know that we're not even really enjoyed being around in their environment? Why do we do it? What behind that is telling us that we should do that? And sometimes, again, it just takes you sitting in it to work through it, to be better on the other end of it. And again, it's not comfortable. It's not fun. It's not always going to be pleasurable and you're going to be like, this is great. It's going to be tears. You're going to find out more stuff, but you're going to discover more about you. You're also going to discover more than what you want. So before you usually do the usual vice, whether it's drinking, video games, people, spending money, there's a bunch, food, whatever. There's so many that we do to cover up what we have to deal with. Just take a moment and ask yourself, why am I constantly doing these activities? Because I keep getting these same results. What is it that I have to sit with? And what steps should I start taking to just sit with it?